Welcome back to my forge. This is Fluid Forge Blacksmithing. The project that we have today is we're going to make a couple of chisels because I made this earlier, and the sheath isn't exactly my favorite thing, but I really am excited to finish this sword. But as you can see, it's made out of plywood. It's kind of gross, got some cracking going along, and just doesn't have quite the fit that I want to display my work as. So, we're making some chisels. Let's get started. So I realized that I ran out of propane last time I was working, and I haven't gone to the store yet because that requires me to drive. So we're going to be working with charcoal today. Alright, so we are going to need this fan. And some charcoal. This is all stuff I made last season. It's really a fun process making it. I'll have to show you guys sometime when the weather's a bit nicer. It's pretty nice today, but I don't want to risk the rain. Need some paper. Lighter. The most important step, in my opinion, is to get a nice foundation started for your coals when you're whenever you're working with charcoal. So that's why I'm using so much paper. One of my favorite things about working with charcoal is you don't have to wait long before you get forging. To be honest though, I don't really wait to get forging with propane either. I know you're supposed to let it preheat, but I don't. For this project we'll be using coil springs from cars. I've got 3 of them in the forge right now because we're going to be making a 3/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and a 1 inch chisel. Straighten out the coils, you just put it in your pritchel hole and pull. Easy as that. Then you heat up the next section. So, like with the arrowheads, you're going to want to stretch it out to the side to create your socket. Whew. So now that all the bars are straight, we can start establishing a cycle where we go through each of the heats in turn when they're ready. You start seeing it develop a really nice flare up there that we're going to later turn into a cone. Well, one thing's for sure, I'm definitely not cold anymore. Now that the piece is nice and splayed out, we can start curling it over on that anvil. Easiest thing in my opinion is take it on this foot and just start coaxing it in. Then you just hit this base, get the curl nice and established down at the bottom, and you can start working it through the top really easy. And then it goes back in the forge. So, as you can see, this cone is really nice and developed. Once we get all of these lilies established, we'll be able to move on to forging the chisels. See, that's another nice thing about working with charcoal instead of propane. These tongs usually get so hot if I accidentally touch the tip, it's game over for my hand. For anyone who missed it, we forge out this top nice and hot, nice and wide. Then we take it over to the other anvil, and we're going to start curling it in on the foot. Doesn't take long to heat it up when it's this thin. Gotta watch out so you don't burn it. As you can see, all of these little flowers are nice and conical. So we're going to start working on the chisel end of it. These tongs are a little bit fat, they won't fit inside the cones, so we're going to put these away and go get something a little more fitting. Alright, so I've cooled down what's going to be the 1/2-inch one, and as you can see, it's turned out pretty nicely so far. It just needs a little bit of cleanup work on the grinder, and then we can start establishing that main bevel. Now we're going to move over to this one and clean up the back of these so that it's nice and flat for when it makes contact with the wood. So, now that all these chisels are ground to shape, we can heat treat them and get them stamped in the opposite order.